Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air. Hello. Nobody there.
Goodbye.
All right. So, anyway, you wanted to know about the waterbed thing.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Well, you've been to my house.
I have.
I have a California King waterbed that I purchased back in 1985.
Okay, wow, and you still have it.
I still have it. Love my waterbed.
Okay.
It's just it's like hang on a second. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Greetings and salutations, gentlemen.
Well, good evening, Mr. Tate. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, Neely, and I must say that I'm a little bit perturbed. In fact, I find it insulting beyond words, a comment that you just made a moment ago. I beg to differ greatly. Talking about, Thomas is certainly an interesting fellow, but has any radio program ever found such a guest as wonderful and life-altering?
Well, I didn't say wonderful. I said outrageous.
Well, that may be, but I beg to differ. I am Geoff Tate. If you have forgotten, remember me, Geoff Tate?
Yes, we do, Jeff. Yeah, but you're in a class all by yourself.
Neely lives to the extreme.
Apparently not in the same class as Thomas. This blithering idiot everywhere. This Willie the groundskeeper, all that sort of thing.
The groundskeeper.
The girls. I like to watch this Simpsons cartoon. The character of Willie the groundskeeper is a Scotsman, and he's about as intelligent as Thomas is.
Well, I was almost, comparing, your description there to Bill Murray in Caddyshack.
No, not quite the same thing, but Christopher, I must say, I have listening to that train wreck of a so-called interview with Thomas.
Yes.
How to put it delicately? All the talk about shit on your tongue and jail rape and all that sort of thing, Christopher. You seem to take a bit of an undue interest, a bit of an more than the passing interest in that sort of thing.
Mr. Tate, I am simply I'm just a reporter getting the story.
Christopher, my gaydar is going off here.
Well, I can assure you, there's nothing gay here.
The way you so avidly devoured every bit of information that Thomas could provide about that particular topic, and as the conversation veered away and you kept steering it back.
I don't know that I'm gay as much as just a fan of Winger, and Mr. Beach.
I sensed a bit of a bulge in your britches.
Right. I would say Chris is a fan of Tool and prison sex.
It certainly seems that way. Perhaps. The next time I'm in the wonderful city of Cleveland, perhaps we could, make the rounds, go carousing and cruising, as it were, and see what happens.
Are you looking to get into some of this man-on-man sex there, Jeff?
Well, it is a new year, and I've tried to plant the seed, so to speak. I've talked about wanting to try different things. Okay. I am Geoff Tate. I am, certainly aware. I pretend that I am not. That I do not read, websites such as, Blubberface, whatever it is. I understand that there have been rumors swirling for years about me and my orientation, that sort of thing. And right. I've kept it to myself. And, as the new year comes along, I find myself, thirsting for new adventures, thirsting for whatever you may want to call it.
Jism?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but what I'm saying is new frontiers and uncharted territories to explore. All the blabbertards. There's a thing in psychology. Are you familiar with the Johari window?
No, please explain.
All right, then. The Johari window is a diagram used by psychologists. Picture 4 squares. One square is for things that you know about yourself, but that no one else knows. The second square is for things that you know and that everyone else also knows. The third square is things that everyone knows, but that you do not know. And the fourth square is the things that you know that neither you nor anyone else knows about yourself. I'm wondering if window number 3, it might be a little larger than I might have expected.
Oh. So you're saying that the window is wide open and looking for a weasel to fly in?
Well, let us put it this way. Sometimes people who don't know you well, outsiders, people who can take an objective view, might be able to have some insights as to your personality or your facets of your being that you might not be open to or aware of.
So, is what you're saying is that your back window is open and ready to be viewed?
Well, I'm open to experimentation, but I've been wanting to be with someone I trust, and hearing you get all hot and bothered about prison sex and all that sort of thing, that it makes me think that now that you've cast off the chains of matrimony, as it were, you might be feeling the same way, Christopher.
I think Jeff is indicating, Chris, that you and he are on parallel paths.
So Jeff, is basically what you're offering me is the opportunity to fuck you in the ass?
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe not the first time, but perhaps we could hit a few flower shops and see how things go.
Well, Jeff, I just need to know one thing, because I might be into this. But what I need to know is, when you let me hit that, are you going to fucking give me the high note from Queen of the Reich?
I didn't say that I'm going to be catching.
Well, I'm saying that you're going to be catching, because you sure ain't going to be pitching.
I might be pitching, as it were.
Oh, no. I don't know, Jeff.
There's just something about a soft, pillowy fat man.
Pillowy.
Pillowy fat man.
Will you be my teddy bear, Christopher? It's Valentine's Day. Get into the spirit here, will you? Will you play that song, I Want to Be Your Teddy Bear?
Jeez, oh man, why don't you sing it, Jeff? I mean, you're the vocalist here.
Well, it's not a song I'm familiar with. It just popped into my head. It's a part of Susan's record collection, and
Oh, here, let's see.
Susan is a wonder.
Baby, let me be your love teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck and leave me anywhere. Let me be. Oh, let him be. Oh, teddy bear.
Does that make you hot, Jeff?
You think we could get a good groove going to that song? You and me, Christopher. What do you say?
It's tempting, Jeff. It's really a tempting offer.
I'll say. It's the mercury is rising as I think about it.
Oh my God!
Wow. Now, this was an unexpected offer. I really wasn't ready for this.
I just feel upstaged. This blithering buffoon calling up from Scotland or Canada, wherever he is, and stealing my thunder. Mine, Geoff Tate.
Well, Jeff, he borrowed, but you've taken it back.
Absolutely, as is my right. And may I say something? May I be frank?
You can, Jeff.
I'll be,
Frank,
Frank or Sam or whoever you want me to be. But, Thomas, you notice he never calls, he never initiates the call. It's always the other fellow that calls, and then he puts on Thomas.
Uh-huh.
Are you sure you're not being, you sure your crank isn't being yanked, as it were?
Are we being catfished, as they say?
Not catfished exactly, but are you sure you're not having your leg pulled?
Which leg? Third?
Are you sure that the other fellow, the one who takes his name from that boorish band, the fellow with the warts on his face, are you sure that the fellow who places the call, he's not just sort of, juggling the phone in his hand and then, holding it back up to his face and talking in a funny voice?
Well, I cannot, first of all, Jeff, I cannot imagine that anybody would call in and use a false identity on this show. That just doesn't seem right to me.
I know, it's beyond comprehension, is it not?
It really is. But
why would a person do such a thing?
I don't know. I can't imagine.
It boggles the mind.
Oh, boy, Jeff. So, Jeff, what's going on with your legal case? Are you almost done?
We're still working on it. We're still hammering out the details. There's still, the taking turnabouts with Susan, as it were. Susan is working day and night to provide satisfactory conditions and terms. And, we've had to get the girls involved, especially Miranda. Parker, he wanted one for old time's sake.
Right. He wanted to hit that one last time, huh?
That's about the size of it, so to speak.
Sure.
But, things are coming along. I'm sure they will be resolved in a satisfactory manner, but we filed a motion. We've filed for a continuance, as it were, as I believe Doghouse tells me is the terminology and the correct terminology in the legal profession.
All right. Well, sounds like things are going your way. Are you gonna be Queensryche, or does that not even matter to you at this point?
I am going to be Queensryche. That's the way it is. That's the way it always has been. That's the way it will continue to be. They can be Rising West or Boys to Men or whatever the fuck they want to be.
Boys to Men, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, man. Your blackness is well heard.
I don't give a fuck what they do. They're dead to me now.
Well, yeah, as they should be.
They're dead to me now, and as soon as they get their cocks out of my wife.
Well, Jeff, all I'd like to say is what I'd just like to say is who did not have them in their top 20 countdown at the end of the year, and who did, right?
I don't recall hearing them on your top 20. Well, who did? Refresh me.
It would not be me.
I was a bit intoxicated the night we spoke about it, but as you can tell by my ukulele playing. But I'm certainly gratified by that, Christopher, but you also did not have Frequency Unknown.
I agree with you there, Jeff.
I did have it. Neely wouldn't let me list it.
Yeah, you put that on me, but I had nothing to do with that.
Jeff, who do you believe here? The guy that always takes your side, or Neely?
To be honest with you, Christopher, this is... I've never quite known what to think about it, so I've frankly closed that door in my mind and tried not to think about it.
Just the same way you did on Chris DeGarmo.
Absolutely. The guitar playing flyboy, as it were.
Right.
No, Jeff. With you lacking trust in me, I don't know that I can have gay sex with you.
This would be a way to reestablish the trust we are lacking.
Was that a consideration, Chris?
Hey,
think of it as a
Geoff Tate
building exercise.
It's Geoff Tate. There's a story to tell if I fuck Geoff Tate.
Well, Valentine's Day is a time for expressing our love and getting laid and all that sort of thing. I've got a full tank this week. What can I say?
Wow. Well, Susan's been pretty busy, so I can kind of understand that, Jeff.
You know, the house has been empty. All the girls have been, taking one for the team, or sometimes more than one. But I've been left to my own devices, and what am I supposed to do?
Right. Well, you could do like Tom and buy a gallon of KY.
Well, I'm not used to that sort of thing, and I'm not on tour, so it's not being flung at me. It's not being tossed at my feet, as it were.
Right.
So I'm sitting around having a bit of Insanio wine, and I flip on the Google machine, and I hear all this talk about gay sex and shit on your dick, all that sort of thing.
Wow.
What is this? What is any sane person to think?
Well, yeah, hand jube.
Well, I must say my brain is a bit scrambled, but the offer stands, Christopher.
Well, I'll take it under advisement, Jeff.
We've spoken in person many times. You've been a guest of mine backstage more than a few times, and that sort of privilege, in most cases entails some sort of reward and some sort of reciprocation. But have I asked for it? No.
I'll take it under consideration, Jeff. It's not a trail that I've walked down ever.
Have I always not been the good host?
Always, Jeff.
Have I always not treated you with the utmost aplomb and respect?
Well, Jeff, you have, but I have to admit that if I knew that the price was ass sex, I probably would have sat in the last row and bought my own tickets.
Is that really the way you feel, Christopher?
Are you saying that I'm hiding something, Jeff?
Well, like I say, the interest, the untoward interest you showed in Tom's adventures with the, batting for the other team, as it were, it's got my gaydar going ding, 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 ding. Also my zipper. The buttons on my flyer are going ding, ding as they hit the ceiling.
Oh, man. Well, I'll take it under advisement, Jeff. Give me a little time to think this through.
A little time to think things over. A little foreigner music might soften you up.
Yeah, I guess.
I know you're a big Foreigner fan, a big Lou Gramm fan.
Oh, yeah. Old Puddinhead is good with me.
Hey, Christopher, how about this? What did I do for a boy like you to come inside my mouth?
Wow. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Demon in the chat room, there's an awful lot of gay sex on the classic film.
There is. We've
Well, this you can call it a product of my environment. Heavy metal has always had this sort of homoerotic undertones.
Yeah, just ask
Rob
Halford.
Yes, absolutely. That I'm talking about more than that. It's always been a bit of a boys' club, and even people like your Ms. Freeman feel the need to doll themselves up as dominatrix, leather maids, and sex kittens, and all that sort of thing. This sort of sweat-drenched sexuality is a bit of protesting a bit too loudly, as it were.
I hear you.
You're getting hot, Christopher.
Not yet, Jeff. This is a big adjustment for me.
Let me ask you something, Christopher. Are you touching yourself?
Not yet, Jeff.
I think you're lying. Well, you think it over. I'm sure you'll come around to my way of thinking it.
All right. Give me a week to think about it, Jeff. Call me next week, and I'll give you my decision.
Oh, well, all right, then. That's simply fair enough. I realize I've, dumped quite a load in your lap, so to speak.
I mean, this is a big decision, Jeff. I mean, you've expressed several times about your blackness down there. That's a little intimidating for a man that's never had gay sex.
Oh, so you do it if I was white, huh?
Well, maybe if you're Chinese.
What are you talking about?
No, I said I would. It'd be a lot easier decision if you were Chinese down there.
So if I was Chinese, Neely and I spoke a number of years ago when I was taking a trip to China. I do know how to speak Mandarin Chinese. I do know how to speak 6 inches into the left in Mandarin Chinese. Would you like to hear it? Would that get your rocks off for you? All the old ashes.
Jeff, it's not that I doubt that you could speak it. It's just that I have fear of the long dick dong.
Hush. Listen to this. Ring ding harabara ching chong.
Now I'm getting hot.
6 inches. That's 6 inches and straight up.
Right.
Well, that puts some extra zing in your kung pao shrimp.
Or cream of some young guy.
Well, I suppose I'm some old guy at this point, as I have just recently celebrated my 55th birthday. That's
What?
right, double nickels on the dime for old Geoff Tate.
Well, let me take this under consideration, Jeff.
Well, as I said, and you did not acknowledge my joke, I dumped quite a load in your lap. Okay, force a laugh if you must.
Oh my God.
But, I understand you may need some time to think, but we'll be speaking about this again. I will, be forewarned. I am not a man who gives up so easily.
All right. I'll take it under consideration, Jeff.
All right, then, fair enough. And, we'll be speaking shortly. Ah, yes, and good evening to you, Neely.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff.
All right, then, we'll be speaking, and until then, fuck you, pal, and Christopher, this is for you. Hand job.
Right. You big, pillowy, thick man, you.
Good Lord.